What if everything you've been taught about creating your dream life has been backward? What if your deepest desires aren't something you need to chase, but something waiting for you to remember? Think about the last time you felt like you were doing everything right. Visualizing, affirming, staying positive. Yet nothing seemed to change. That's because you were trying to shift the outer world while still operating from the same inner frequency. And in quantum manifestation, that's like expecting a mirror to show a new reflection without changing your expression. You see, the universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. And here's the part no one talks about. Your current identity shapes the reality you keep waking up to. Not your goals, not your intentions, but your state of being. In the quantum field, every version of your life already exists. The abundant you, the confident you, the joyful you, all existing as possibilities. And the moment you embody that version emotionally and energetically, the field rearranges to match it. It's not magic, that's coherence, that's physics. But most people miss this. They try to force change from the outside. They hustle, they control, they wait for proof before they let themselves feel it. And in doing so, they stay trapped in the same energetic pattern that's creating their current reality. The truth is, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are being. And this is the simple shift that changes everything. Because once you realize your emotions, thoughts, and energy aren't just results of your circumstances, but the cause, you reclaim the power to shift timelines, collapse possibilities, and call in the reality you're meant to live. But first, you must face a hard truth. You've been conditioned to manifest from lack, to visualize from absence, to desire from the belief that you don't already have it. That's why you're exhausted. That's why you've been stuck in repeating cycles. You're trying to receive a new life while still emotionally tied to the old one. Quantum manifestation isn't about trying harder. It's about being different. It's about aligning your energy with the version of you already living the life you desire, then letting reality catch up to your new vibration. Neville Goddard taught this through the principle of living from the end. He said you must mentally and emotionally dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled, not in hope, but in earnest embodiment. Joe Dispenza calls this process rewiring the brain for a new self. Abraham Hicks puts it simply, you must feel it before it appears. And science supports this. Your brain and body can't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you feel gratitude for a future event as if it's already happened, you activate new neural pathways and flood your system with the chemistry of that future. Essentially, you become a vibrational match for the life you're calling in, and the universe takes notice. The quantum field responds not to wishful thinking, but to your energy. Your thoughts send the signal out. Your emotions pull the experience in. But here's where it goes deeper. The field isn't linear. It's holographic and intelligent. That means your present emotional state isn't just shaping future outcomes. It's actively rewriting your past and rearranging synchronicities in the present. When you shift, everything shifts. The people, the opportunities, the timing. They align not because you forced them, but because you became aligned. You became the version of you who exists in that reality. And once you grasp that, everything changes. You stop chasing signs and start being the signal. You stop seeking permission and start living the truth. You realize the universe isn't testing you, it's reflecting you. And the reflection never lies. So the question isn't, when will it happen? The real question is, who am I being right now? Because that's what the field responds to. And that's why the power was always yours. The biggest mistake people make about manifestation? They think it's about having the right thoughts or repeating affirmations. But manifestation isn't mental, it's visceral. It's not about persuading the universe. It's about teaching your nervous system that the new reality is safe, natural, and already yours. When you fully become the version of yourself who already has that reality, your subconscious stops fighting. Your identity shifts. And this is where real transformation begins. Not in wanting, but in existing as. Let's go deeper. You've likely heard of quantum superposition, the idea that all possible realities exist until one is observed. This isn't just theory, it's the foundation of your reality. Every choice you make, every emotion you repeat, every belief you reinforce is an act of observation that collapses one of those possibilities into form. So when you wake up every day and think, "I'm not there yet," or "something is missing," you're solidifying that version into your reality over and over again. It's not your fault. We were taught to believe we must earn transformation, that we must hustle, strive, prove ourselves worthy of better. But the quantum model doesn't work that way. In the quantum field, worthiness isn't required, only alignment. And alignment begins when you stop reacting to life as it is and start broadcasting life as it will be, as if it's already here. This is where most people get stuck. They wait to feel abundance until the money arrives. They wait to feel love until the relationship starts. They wait to feel worthy until the world validates them. But the field doesn't operate on delay. It responds in real time to the signals you emit. When you feel gratitude before the manifestation, you're no longer just hoping. You're embodying the signal. You're becoming the version of you that already knows it's done. And that's when the shift begins, because your body, mind, and energy field start speaking the same language. Coherence. Joe Dispenza explains this through brain-heart coherence. When your heart is open and grateful, and your mind is focused and intentional, your electromagnetic signature grows stronger, more ordered, and more detectable by the field. You become a lighthouse, not a scattered signal. Neville Goddard called this assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not pretending, not imagining, assuming. Wearing it like a second skin. Stepping into the identity of your future self so completely that reality has no choice but to reflect it back. The reason most people don't see results isn't because manifestation doesn't work. It's because they're sending mixed signals. They visualize one thing but feel another. They recite affirmations but radiate anxiety. They hope for change but secretly expect disappointment. And the field, being neutral and intelligent, simply mirrors that confusion. This is where quantum manifestation reveals its deepest truth. You must become emotionally fluent in the reality you're calling in before it arrives. That means practicing gratitude as if it's already yours. That means celebrating shifts before proof appears. That means trusting your intuition even when logic doubts. Because once you vibrate in sync with the version of yourself already living the life you desire, everything else falls into place, not because you forced it, but because you became it. This isn't about faking it. It's about installing a new version of reality into your body's awareness. Every day you wake up and choose to feel the feelings of your future self. You're coding your quantum blueprint. You're imprinting new information onto the field. Eventually, the outer world will have to comply, because it's not stronger than you. It responds to you. This is why the quantum model isn't passive, it's participatory. It invites you to become a conscious creator, not a victim of your past. The moment you stop chasing and start aligning, something incredible happens. You don't just attract your desires, you begin living from them. You walk differently, speak differently, make decisions differently. Not to impress the universe, but because you finally realize you are the universe. experiencing itself as a human. You're not here to beg for miracles. You're here to remember you are one, and that's when the field shifts in your favor. Not when you hope for it, not when you wish for it, but when you become the one who already has it. Imagine your life as a waveform, infinite, undetermined, full of potential. Every thought, every belief you reinforce, every emotion you embody is like a measurement. And in quantum physics, measurement changes everything. The moment something is observed, the wave collapses. It becomes a particle. It takes form. It becomes reality. This isn't metaphor. This is quantum mechanics. Before observation, there's only a field of probabilities. But the instant you focus your attention, the instant you engage emotionally, you collapse the wave into a single experience. This is quantum collapse, and it's happening constantly, with or without your awareness. So manifestation isn't just about desire. It's the art of collapsing the right waves, the ones aligned with the version of you already living the life you want. But here's the catch. Most people collapse waves based on the past. They observe through fear. They react from trauma. They expect repetition. And the field, ever loyal, ever neutral, obeys, recreating the same limited reality again and again. They don't mean to. They aren't choosing it consciously. But their subconscious programming is. That's why quantum manifestation isn't just about intentions. It's about healing perception. It's about noticing what you observe, how you observe it, and whether that observation comes from your past or your future. Because whatever you are emotionally attached to, that's the version you're collapsing. Every time you wake up and say, "It's always been this way," or "It never works out for me," you're not just making a statement. You're performing an act of quantum selection. You're choosing a reality where that remains true. But when you break that pattern, when you sense a new possibility before it arrives, when you think thoughts you've never had before, when you feel calm despite uncertainty, you create a ripple in the field, a divine interference. And that's where new timelines emerge. Joe Dispenza explains this perfectly. Your personality shapes your personal reality. Meaning, if you change your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you shift which version of reality you collapse into. Neville Goddard put it simply: change your self-concept, and the world you live in changes automatically. And Abraham Hicks said, the universe responds to the energy you emit, not your words, not your desires, but your vibration. So the real question is, who are you when no one's watching? When you're not doing a technique? When it's just you and your thoughts? Because that's the frequency the field answers to. This is why repetition alone isn't enough. You can repeat affirmations, visualize dreams, journal daily. But if your default state is lack, fear, or doubt, you'll keep collapsing the same reality. True manifestation happens when your baseline shifts, when peace feels normal, when joy is your resting state, when self-trust anchors you. That change only comes when you step out of observing life through past experiences and start creating reality from who you're becoming. It's not about force, it's about alignment. When your mind, emotions, and body sync, you become a powerful observer. Timelines collapse faster, synchronicities flow. You experience ease, not out of luck, but because you've left survival mode and stepped into creation. This is what Jesus meant by "as you believe, so it is done." This is what Einstein meant by "the field governs the particle." And this is what mystics knew long before quantum physics gave us the words. Consciousness isn't passive, it creates. So if you want change, stop watching life like a movie you didn't pick. Stop reacting. Stop waiting for proof. Start collapsing. Start embodying. Start seeing reality through the eyes of someone who knows it's already theirs. And as you do, the field will answer. Not later, not someday. Now. Because the wave is always there, waiting to collapse into the hands of those who dare to believe. There comes a moment, quiet but unmistakable, when the air around you shifts. Nothing outside has changed, yet something inside you moves. A lightness appears, a subtle clarity. It's as if your inner world pauses, and in that stillness, a deeper knowing stirs. This is where real manifestation begins, not in effort, but in the unseen adjustment of your frequency. Science tells us that what we perceive as reality isn't a fixed, static world, but a sea of probabilities. The quantum field holds all potential outcomes, every version of you. And it's your state of being that decides which reality solidifies. Not your to-do list, not your affirmations spoken in defiance, but the alignment between your thoughts and emotions. This alignment creates resonance. When your inner world grows calm, when your nervous system isn't on constant alert, when your heart and brain harmonize, the signal you send becomes clear, strong, and magnetic. The field responds not as a reward, but as a reflection. It arranges itself around your energy. So what changes this inner state? Not effort, not more knowledge, but wholeness. It's the silent choice to drop the burden of timelines, the strain of performance, or the need to control. You see that forcing the outer world without shifting your inner frequency only breeds resistance. At this stage, manifestation stops being about grabbing and starts being about receiving, letting what already exists in potential come to you. This is what Dr. Joe Dispenza means when he describes becoming nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, in no time. You step beyond identity, beyond stories, and there, you tap into the universal intelligence that orchestrates everything. It's not about pretending or reciting words. It's about aligning with the version of you who no longer needs proof. You notice doubt, but don't suppress it. You meet it. You bring openness. You sense the tug of urgency, and instead of answering, you pause. What if nothing's lacking? What if now is part of the process? In quantum terms, your attention collapses the wave. Each time you focus, calmly, fully, on a new possibility, you start weaving it into existence, not by force, but by clarity, by alignment. Neville Goddard didn't preach daydreaming. He taught becoming. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled wasn't a hack. It was a call to live now as your future self. Abraham Hicks says the same. The universe ignores your words. It answers to your vibration. So the work is inner tuning. The change is unseen. And the instant you stop needing to understand everything is the instant you open to what's waiting. Not from surrender, but from sync. And when sync is real, reality mirrors it. There's a quiet strength in knowing the work isn't ahead of you. Not on some external front, but here, within. And the world may not notice it yet. There may be no applause, no signs, no milestones that scream success. But something real is shifting, something subtle and irreversible. Because the moment you choose to truly, fully be the version of you that aligns with the reality you desire, something activates in the field. You begin to become. This is the essence of quantum manifestation. It's not a leap into fantasy. It's a return to coherence, a merging of thought, emotion, and identity. You don't manifest because you want something. You manifest because you are something, because your state of being becomes the tuning fork that pulls your future into the now. And here's what no one tells you. The process isn't loud. It's not fireworks, constant validation, or the proof your ego craves. It's silent. It's sacred. It's the quiet rearrangement of your inner world moment by moment, breath by breath, until the outside has no choice but to mirror the truth you've anchored within. You're not waiting. You're not asking. You're aligning. This is the code behind manifestation. Not a secret ritual, not the perfect phrase, but identity. Who are you when no one is watching? What beliefs guide your breath in the quiet of your mind? These aren't small questions. They're the blueprint of your field. Be, become, receive. It sounds simple, and it is. But it's also the most radical act you can take, to embody a truth before the world gives you proof. Because here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing evidence is the moment the universe starts delivering it. Not as a reward, not because you finally got it right, but because your frequency no longer clashes with the reality you claim. You're not broadcasting lack, you're radiating wholeness. And when that signal is steady, when your nervous system rests in having, not just wanting, the field responds. It has to. The particles shaping your reality aren't fixed. They're waiting to match the strongest vibration you hold. And when that vibration says, "This is already mine," the shift begins. You change timelines not by chasing, but by becoming. So pause now, not to do more, but to feel deeper. Feel the version of you already living the life you once dreamed of. What do they feel when they wake up? What do they believe is possible? How do they carry themselves through challenges? What do they no longer fear? That's not a version to reach, it's a version to remember. Because it already exists. In the quantum field, it's already formed. Your only task is to align with it, to embody it so fully that reality has no choice but to reflect your inner truth. And if you've been listening, if your heart has resonated with this message, it means one thing. You're already on the path. There's nothing missing. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're becoming. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause, close your eyes, and whisper to yourself, "I am becoming." Not as a plea, but as a declaration, a remembrance, a quiet roar from your soul that you are here, now, and ready to claim what has always been yours. So if this message stirred something in you, if it sparked a knowing or brought calm recognition, take a moment and let the field know. Comment below, "I am becoming," because you are, and we're witnessing it together. There's a frequency so subtle, so soft, that most people overlook it entirely. Not because it's hidden, but because it's quiet. It doesn't announce itself with drama or fanfare. It doesn't come with noise or urgency. It hums beneath the chaos, beneath the doubts, beneath the striving. It is the stillness behind every breath, the awareness behind every thought, the consciousness behind every desire. This frequency isn't something you find. It's something you return to. You were born with it. It existed before language, before comparison, before the idea that you needed to prove or struggle or attract anything. It's the core of you, untouched, unshaken, unmoved, and it is magnetic beyond measure. When you stop trying to manifest and simply become the version of you who has already received, this frequency awakens. It's the moment you no longer need to prove your worth to the universe. You simply are. You embody your value with such quiet certainty that the quantum field has no choice but to rearrange itself around your new identity. It responds not to your need, but to your being. This is the paradox. You attract the most when you've stopped trying to attract. You receive the most when you realize you were never lacking. You manifest effortlessly when you quit chasing and finally allow. There's a stillness inside you that's been waiting patiently, a frequency that doesn't shout to be heard, but speaks in whispers of truth. It's there in the quiet moment when you close your eyes and your body feels like home. It's in the instant you choose to trust. Not because of proof, but because something in your soul remembers the way. This is the code of silent frequency. It isn't declared, it's lived. Joe Dispenza calls this being in coherence. Neville Goddard calls it living in the end. Abraham Hicks speaks of it as the art of allowing. But no matter the words, the message is the same. When you tune in, when you align, when you become, everything shifts. Because the universe doesn't answer your wants, it answers your vibration. You don't need to scream louder. You don't need to do more. You just need to be more of who you already are. The version of you that knows, deep down, you're a co-creator with the field. And that field, it's alive. It listens. It reflects. So breathe. Not as someone waiting, but as someone already living the life they once only dreamed of. Move through your day as someone whose energy alone can bend timelines. Speak as someone who remembers they aren't separate from the stars. They're made of them. Let your stillness be your power. Let your presence be your doorway. The world may not see it yet, but your field is already broadcasting. It's already sending signals of wholeness, clarity, and truth. And the field is listening, ready to mirror your inner frequency with outer reality. You're not chasing, you're becoming. And because of that, everything is already shifting.